The Star of David El-Roi and the 6 points of control: social, political, economic, cultural, spiritual, and ethical. The Star of David was actually the star of pseudo-messiah, diviner, and famed magician David El-Roi, who lived in the 12th century. Here it will be used as a luminous symbol, as it has before, to demonstrate the 6 sectors of global control. This may seem anti-Semitic, however, the star is often mistaken for the Star of King David, while it is in fact a neo-mystical symbol popularized as an insulting presenter of Judaism by Adolf Hitler. It was likely made known to Hitler through the writings of Benjamin Disraeli. The following has nothing to do with bipartisan politics. It has to do with the different branches of the demonic party, which is gaining more and more power by the year. The social sector. Objectives for left wing: create a zealous movement that any and all social ideas are acceptable so long as they are not representative of the ideologies of the old world order. Theoretically, the objective is supposed to create total equality, while in fact it creates a replacement of old orders with powerful new factions. Examples are the total acceptance of otherwise abnormal sexual practices, the total abolishment of racial attitudes, the ending of nationhood, and the embracing of foreign, outlandish philosophical radicals. The ends are obtained through a powerful federalist union. Objectives for right wing: to create a fundamentalist counter-neo-social order embracing bigotry in all manners, which were previously unacceptable in common society or otherwise by the aspiring or the gentry. The base of the argument is that it is justified as a stronghold of opposition to the new social prerogative of the left wing. Examples are unnatural ferocity in statements against political correctness, ignorance of new ideas about the progression of society, reminiscence of the old world order in which neither they nor their ancestors had influence in. To achieve this objective would require upheaval of most modern political factions and a counter-media, along with the eradication of most New Age philosophies and those who follow them. Both wings. Remove any sense of middle-of-the-road or societal no-man's land so that to make a statement on one side or the other is to pledge allegiance to that faction. Use the media to fan the flames of each side to increase the accuracy of polling, and therefore cause the swaying of the average person's opinion to become even easier. The final result is a completely sculpted public and a schism of acceptable company and classing of the majority of society. The political sector. Objectives for left wing: to reserve unconstitutional rights to the government, especially the executive powers. The abolishment of the Second and 10th Amendments through subtle constitutional loopholes in order to ensure a Washington, D.C. based federal power which is unopposable. To set into motion the mandating of social orders so that the government-friendly, social-thinking citizen is more rewarded than those who oppose the ideologies of the New World Order. To heighten taxes on the wealthy so that they are more inclined to take their business elsewhere, while excusing themselves that they are helping the impoverished. This plays into the objective of creating a government-dependent nation. All this can be achieved by a steady increase of rules, regulations, fines, taxes, and manipulation of powerful allies. Research the meeting of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and the Bilderberg Group. Right-wing objectives: to counter terrorism, or the opposition of American partisanship, create regulations on privacy, causing targeting of those who abuse freedom of speech. To relate the left-wing agenda to communism in feudal Russia, North Korea, and China. To deregulate corporate enterprises in order to create a subconscious, power-wielding governing machine. These objectives can be obtained through counter-liberal petition appealing to sway the feelings of the conservative mass. Both wings. Keep the public blissfully unaware of inter-party allyships and trapped in partisan idealism so that each sector of government can become more regulated by each party as control sways back and forth like a pendulum, ending in a powerful, uncontrolled corporate political factor in addition to a corporate-owned media thought sculptor. These are coupled with a powerful central federalist union. The economic sector. Objectives for left wing. To heighten taxes and total governmental revenue while increasing laws and regulations, along with new programs and services, along with the control of the corporations which own at least 90% of television, to control the populace into giving the government more power over their finances. Also to seize management of large banking enterprises along with stock gathering. This can be achieved through a simple enacting of laws and the construction of a global banking system. Right wing. To bring enough power to corporations to totally monopolize all commercial consumerism, while at the same time working to merge them with the agenda of the governmental military-industrial complex. In other words, gain enough control of the markets to send a single message or promote different values through the selling of a product or series. To loosen the bonds, not regulations or useless laws, that keep monopolies of products from forming, to bring in a new regime of powerful families for the establishment of the New World Order. To do this, they must only allow corporations loosened reins over the market. Objectives for both wings. Over time, the new federalist power will be able to, in essence, buy out the corporations they empower, while over-regulating the populace so that there is no competition. So in the end, the government controls all forms of consumerism. Utilities such as Facebook are perfect for gathering the information needed to fuel the direction of the corporate machine and are thus placed in the hands of and steered by powerful government agencies such as the CIA, who are secretly top contributors. The cultural sector. Objectives for left wing. In the shape of the left wing social standards, the new culture will be so demoralized in the way of utter tolerance that all traces of the old world order will be frowned upon. Therefore, only neo-art will be accepted by the elite and handed down to the fermenting middle class, much in the sense of the 1930s Russian art. An end to all cultural intolerance towards all the undesirable traits which were totally shunned in the past is a must. This can and will happen through the labeling of the opposition as ignorant and the owning of the art industry. Right-wing objectives. The basic idea that culture is gay is to be made unnoticeable and acceptable. Reality TV shows and modern music, which require the thought level of a fifth grader, must keep the average person completely distracted from real music, art, literature, and significant classical influences that could be a threat to the rising elite class. This can be made possible through single ownership of all broadcasters, popular internet websites, and publishers, as television, internet, and radio are the idea factories of the modern age. Both wings. To take away the idea of individuality by replacing it with tribalism and caste systems through the manipulation of grouping people through what they wear, what beliefs they're sculpted to, what music they listen to, and what shows they watch. Also to deprivatize basic civilization through implementing of social networking. The spiritual sector. Objectives for left wing. Replace belief systems with ethical political ideals. Influence the idea of a meaningful life to those who led the leftist objective closest to heart. Explain true spiritual belief systems as an extended wave of ignorance perpetuated by the old world order. If one must be spiritual, the classic Caucasian forms of spirituality, namely Christianity, are to be frowned upon, and one should look inside oneself to find the proper religion. This can be made widespread by endorsing secular humanism through the media. Right wing. Manipulate tolerant and moderate Christians to conversion to a new world religion. Promote hatred of other religions such as Islam, Judaism, Hindi, or Buddhism. Study deeply and reject those who do not dedicate most of their time and efforts towards figuring on the newfound teachings. Cause different sects to become intolerant of one another and entangle racial issues in with belief systems. This can be done through the religious endorsements of private sectors. Both wings push for a schism between two different types of belief systems, the secularist and the non-secularist. Promote intolerance between the two. This is made possible by everyday people, with converting or enlightening others, along with those paid to do so by organizations such as the Club of Rome through implementation of a pyramid system.
Both wings' objectives for the ethical system is to replace the old world ethics system with the new world ethics system. The New World Order is accomplished when these two wings merge into one beast. Imagine the global results.